Good morning and welcome to our Christian broadcast on the day. And so this is your show host, Ms. Diane Winbush. Sorry about the technical difficulties earlier. Somehow we were trying to get on and we had to get back on and get back off. So anyway, don't forget about our upcoming events that we have for the 15th of this month, actually, for our Women's Empowerment Luncheon that was going to be held at the Admiralty Inn Banquet Hall, and that's located at 8181 Highway 51 South, and that's in Millington, Tennessee. And our guest speaker is going to be Ms. Jill Coleman, and as well as any other additional events that we have coming up, you can go to our website at www.stpetersburgglobalministries.org. So we are thankful that you have been supportive for those events, and thank you so very much. So today we have on the show with us life coach and speaker, Ms. Nikeya Young, and so we are delighted that she joined us today as a guest on the show. So welcome to the show, Nikeya.
Thank you so much, Diane, for having me.
Perfect. So let's drive right into the show on today. So tell us a little bit about you.
Well, my name is Nikeya Young. I am a life coach. I'm an author. I have a book out right now called Virtue Chic, Classy Takes Center Stage, and it is all about encouraging and championing 21st century virtuous women. So it's all about, it's really encouraging to Christian millennial women. In addition to that, I am a wife. My husband is Rodney Young, Jr., and I have a 3-year-old, and he is Rodney Young III, and I reside in Homewood, Illinois, which is a south suburb of Chicago.
Okay. So what was your passion to start life coaching for women or for men? What was it that drove you to be able to offer yourself more to the community?
Well, I can say that I have actually had an interest in learning about people and how they think and what makes them tick and like self-help books and all of that stuff from a young age. I knew from, I would say at least 9th grade, that that's something I wanted to do. It just wasn't, it didn't manifest itself as, hey, I want to be a life coach, but I just knew I was very interested in people. And so I majored in psychology during undergrad, and then I switched gears a little bit for grad school, and I ended up becoming a teacher. And there's actually a big correlation between teaching and coaching. There's a lot of transferable skills there. But I knew I wanted to do that going forward. I did school teaching for a while, and then I decided after I left that I really wanted to pursue my passion of specifically targeting Christian millennial women, because I felt that that was a group that tends to get lost, millennials period, but I'm focusing on women for my coaching. But millennials, that group kind of gets lost in church. There's a ton of activities for youth, and once they graduate high school and they go off to college, there's not much between 18 and 35 that is appealing in not all churches, but a lot of churches. And so that is the age where there tends to be a great falling away from the faith. And I wanted to be an encouragement to Christian millennial women.
Awesome. Because even with that, as Christians, we feel that, we don't have anyone to reach out to, because mental, even though we see a lot of different things where facilities are set up in locations like as far as, behavioral centers, we have here in the South, we have like Lakeside, we have different other behavioral centers for women and for men, but sometimes a lot of mental disorders reside in the church, and sometimes individuals don't know how to be able to reach out, do not know how to turn to the next individual for support, where their information is confidential. Of course, nobody don't want to go and tell the pastor everything, and then next thing you know, their information is spread all over the sermon on Sunday morning. So individuals are struggling, and so that's the reason why I think that what you have to offer for the public and for the community is a great strategy, providing life coaching skills and tools for individuals that perhaps maybe need to talk. They may need to come out of the norm. They may need to breathe. Sometimes individuals go through a lot of things in the Christian industry as well as the business as well. But as far as the Christians, I think we tend to sometimes isolate ourselves as if we don't have any problems or anything is wrong. So we hide and we conceal what it is that we may be transpiring in our own personal life. So I think that is so awesome of what you provide. So take us through a little channel wave of a potential client. So, for example, if I'm interested in your services, take us through what it is that we should expect by coming aboard with your services. You don't have to reveal all of your expertise, but just give us a little bit of a sample of what to expect if we were to hire you as a life coach.
Okay, well, what you can expect, there would be an initial call, and I have to preface this by saying that when people come to life coaching, there's an expectation that this is a person that is ready to change. They don't have to be convinced about it. They're like, hey, I've got this goal I want to work out, and I need your help. I'm ready. Let's do it. So there would be a call to talk about that goal, like what do you have that you want to work on? What has been working for you, working towards that? What hasn't been? What are you looking to get more assistance with? And then I will be speaking with my expectations for my clients, just to make sure it's a good fit. And then I like to do a Myers-Briggs assessment with people that I work with. And Myers-Briggs, that's like a personality test. There are ones that cost, but if you Google Myers-Briggs assessment, there are some free ones that you can find out there. But I always do that with clients or potential clients because it helps me learn more about the personality or natural bent of the client and the way they think and the way they process things. And it helps the client to learn a bit more about themselves as well. People who have never done a Myers-Briggs assessment are usually really fascinated by how accurate it is. A lot of employers have their people do that at different jobs. So we'll do that. Things you can expect from me should you decide to go forward: straight talk, no chaser, but all in love. Assignments. There's going to be assignments. Journaling, vision boarding. The assignment itself depends on what you're working on, but there will be homework, and I will expect you to do it. And also follow-up. This comes in the form of a private Facebook group where we can chit-chat after your session, and even during the sessions, follow up with emails, text, or phone calls, just to give that extra layer of accountability that you're staying on top of your goals.
Okay, that's awesome because when it comes down to coaching, sometimes we do fall away, and sometimes it has to be a follow-up from the leader in order to make sure that the client is receiving the most excellent service as well as the most excellent care. So in your terms, of course, we have already discussed and talked about the passion which drove you to life coaching. So some individuals, when they see the word coach, coach, they perhaps may not know the full fundamentals of it. They may not know all of the facets that come along with coaching, because even with this segment, we're going to share it with our Christian followers as well as with our entrepreneurial followers. So, in your terms, why do we, and that goes for any person that perhaps is seeking support and help, why do we need a life coach?
So a life coach, if you think about just any coach, like a basketball coach or something, they're basically there to work that potential out of you. You have the talent. You have all the tools you need to succeed, but you may need a little help getting clarity on how to best display that talent, or how to, clarification on your goals. So that's one thing a life coach does. And also to develop an action plan for achieving a specific goal. So a life coach can definitely help you with that. It's easy to get kind of lost in the hustle and bustle of life and just get in your own head about, oh, my God, what do I need to do? I'm frustrated. It's really good to have someone from the outside looking in with a bird's eye view that can really help you. They don't have any biases. They can just see, like, how to help you zone in on your goals. And also, life coaches are good for accountability. Accountability is key. That is so helpful. That's why places like Weight Watchers and Jenny Craig, that's why those places succeed, because it provides coaching and accountability. You're going to come every week and you're going to get on a scale in front of a room full of people. Hello.
Okay.
That's accountability. So if you didn't do your homework and you didn't count your points, everybody's going to know it from week to week. So that's just an example, but accountability is one of the biggest benefits of life coaching, and just helping to unlock your potential within.
Okay. So how can clients that are seeking your services, retain results from their visit or consultation? So this is someone that has already decided to come aboard and allow for you to mentor them and coach them through whatever category that they are facing as a challenge. So how can a client seek your services, retain results from their visit? Now, you just got through saying some of the components just a little bit earlier. So in order for them to be able to master that, what is it that they're going to have to do?
So one of the biggest tools I have for this is a Facebook group called The Virtue Chic Life, and that is where I have clients, past and present, connect with me in there, and it's a private group. We can just straight talk about whatever we worked on in our life group, in our coaching group, and it's good because they can not only talk to me, but it's other people that, hey, we've been through this too, and we're all in the same boat. It's a place for us to get together and talk. Another good thing that I always suggest is having friends in on it. So any true friend is going to hold you accountable. Like, hey, girl, I went to this life coaching thing. Oh, good. What did y'all work on? Oh, we did this, we did that. So your friend, if they're any kind of really good friend, they're going to want to make sure you stay on the path.
Correct.
And they're like, girl, don't be eating them donuts. Didn't you just go to a health coach? Like, you just lost weight. Put that donut down. Like, have you some good friends that are going to get in your business and make sure you're staying the course. I want my clients to continue to have success afterwards. So I will definitely be texting and social media stalking you. Like, hey, girl, how's it going? So those are things that can help you going forward, because I know how it is, like when you go through coaching and you're all excited and you're all gung-ho for the 60 days or the 90 days or the however many sessions the coaching was, and then after that passes, you don't want to fall right back into the same old habits. So You definitely have.
Absolutely. I do agree. Sometimes you do need a support to be able to be right there to help monitor things that you should not be doing, so it could perhaps keep you built and keep you motivated on what the goal that you agreed to be able to master, and I think that is very, very important. So, in regards to depression, we're going to shift to another segment in regards to depression, and this is something that I think a lot of individuals face, whether they're wealthy, whether they're not, whether they're Christians, whether they're not, and of course. We know that those are some of the things that the pop rock singer Michael Jackson will use. That was some of his issues. It was depression. I think all of us face depression in some sort of way. So what are some of the things that you see from your clients, without giving any names or a lot of details, that affects individuals in the depression stage? What are some of the, key components that affect the individuals that cause this depression to be able to come up on them as the way that it does?
Okay, so the biggest issue that I see with millennials, and I was born on the cusp, so I don't consider myself a millennial. I can't talk. A millennial. I am 38, so I was born in 1981. So that is like right at the end of Generation X, and then just before the millennial generation started. So we have this unique perspective with being around before there was internet. So we learned how to connect with people on a personal level. When social media and internet came out, it's been a blessing and a curse, I would say, because it has the depression issues that this age group deals with are different. We are able to see what everyone around us is doing all the time. And so a lot of people that I come across are depressed because they feel like they're not doing enough. They're not successful enough. They're not enough, period. Because they're looking on social media and they're seeing all these people in happy relationships, and like all these people their age, they seem to have the perfect job, the perfect car, like, because nobody's posting their problems on social media. Which you shouldn't anyway. You should talk to somebody about that. But because they're not, you're getting the highlight reel of everyone's life. And if you're already feeling some type of way because things aren't happening for you as quickly as you would like them to, and then you get on social media and everybody's happy, of course you're going to feel like, well, what's wrong with me? That's a big issue that I see. And so one of the exercises that I have them do is a social media fast. And 9 times out of 10, literally, once you just, like they used to tell us in school, you keep your eyes on your own paper, on your own rate, and just turn it off for a while, If you have, a lot of us have to be on there for business. Get on there, make your business social media post, then get off. Decompress, join the real world. And you will find that things are not as bad as you thought they were. But if you're so busy counting someone else's blessings all the time, it's going to be that much harder to count your own. So.
I do agree. Sometimes social media can be a factor as to how we process things, and so that's the reason why I, we as women who rock with success, and even me personally, I try to stay away from, exploiting certain things, among other individuals that I don't even know. And even if I did know them, I would not want to do that because sometimes other individuals are already experiencing a lot. They're already going through some things. And sometimes if a person is already down, as you stated, and they see someone else that perhaps maybe be on cloud 15, that, sometimes can be able to cause others to feel that they're not enough. They may feel that they don't measure up. They may feel that what's wrong with me, as you stated, and they can also feel, that they don't have what it takes. So I think that is awesome. I've never heard of that before. Social media fast. That is great.
Yes.
So even with that, what are some of the tools, a couple of tools, that individuals that face depression, they're in a depression stage, they feel that they're not enough. What are some of the things that they can be able to do to diffuse those things? I know one of them that you stated was a fast, social media fast. Get out of the way, get out of your own way by focusing on something that someone else has, and, seeing what it is that you have to offer to the world, we'll say. So what are some things, a couple of things that you would say that could be able to help individuals from declining into a depressional stage?
One of the biggest tools that has helped me has been journaling. I absolutely swear by it. I have been journaling since like second or third grade. And it's just the process of getting it all out on paper. There's nobody there, like it's just you and God and your pen. And you can pour out whatever you're feeling, unfiltered. You don't have anyone to impress. You don't have to worry about, what's this person going to think? It's just for you. This is literally a tool for you to be honest with yourself, because it's dangerous when you start lying to yourself.
Basically.
You can be honest, like, hey, I'm not fine right now, and this is why. And then the reason why journaling is so helpful to me is that not only can I get my feelings out on paper, I go back and I reread my entry after I've finished just word vomiting on the pages. I go back and I read it. And it's kind of like by the end of the journal entry, I've like already worked through the answer. It's like, whatever I was so worried and praying to God about, it's just like seeing it on paper. Because I'm naturally into the psychology and life coaching way of thinking, it's like I look at what I just wrote and I'm thinking of it like how I would look at it if a client just said this to me. And it's just like, you just need to do that. It's like, so it's a clarity exercise. And it just helps you to not keep everything shut up inside. So that's a big tool. Another thing you can do is to change your surroundings. Now, there's a couple of ways you can change your surroundings. One thing you can do is to just clean up. Now, that sounds like, okay, but when you're depressed or when you're feeling down, one of the first things to go is your immediate surroundings. Like most people who can tell you they're just kind of feeling like, you can walk into their home and tell it. Like if your room looks like a tornado hit it, there may be something going on there. And you could just be busy too. But having your space decluttered and everything put away naturally just makes your brain go, and you can think a little clearer. So even if you're not feeling depressed and you just haven't had time to clean up. You'll be amazed at how much better that helps you feel and how much clearer that helps you think. So those are just some, and I talked about the social media fast. So journaling, cleaning up your immediate surroundings. Another way you can change your surroundings is to just get out and go somewhere scenic. Go to the park, and go to the park where there's kids there. It's so therapeutic to watch kids play. They don't have a care in the world. And it just mentally takes you back to a time when you didn't either. You were just carefree and running around and like, I've got shelter, I've got food, everything's done for me, I don't have bills. So it's a good therapeutic thing to do as well.
Absolutely. So with women and men, seem like men can handle or they can juggle depression or perhaps challenges. I'll say that challenges a little bit more better than women. And so I guess within this 21st century that has came about, you find more women using yoga as a meditating therapeutic tool. And so in your terms, how does that, defuse the tension for women as it is used as a health sport, but some individuals also use it as a way to decrease tension and stress challenges as well?
Okay, well, I can tell you I have not done yoga per se. I forgot to mention this earlier, I am also a certified group fitness instructor. So I do Zumba boot camps, cycle, but yoga I have not done, and that is just like a personal thing for me. From what I can tell about it, it has different religious backgrounds and things behind it that I'm not sure of. So I'm like, okay, I don't want to open up any kind of portals.
Understand. I know exactly where you're coming from.
Yeah, so that's one certification I stayed away from. I was like,
okay,
I got a Pilates thing. I'm going to take that certification soon, but I don't know about the yoga. But what you can do, if you don't want to do the actual yoga, is just some simple stretches in the morning. Stretching your limbs, turn on some soft worship music, and just deep breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth, just 5 to 10 minutes of stretching and calisthenics when you first get up or before you go to bed or both, is amazing. And definitely if you're not exercising, exercise gives you endorphins, and those are natural antidepressants. So get at least 30 minutes in. Walk the dog for 30 minutes, ride a bike for 30 minutes, turn on some music, and dance around your apartment. Get moving. So yeah.
Right. That's kind of intelligent of how you responded to that, because individuals do, and I have read somewhere in a literature book that we do have in regards to yoga, and so of course we won't discuss it because we don't want to be objective, and we don't want to offend any listener that's on the broadcast. So and I do agree with you on that, and so that's something that I've never done. I just was just curious as to how women have all just kind of shifted and maneuvered to this new way of doing things when it comes down to tension, this positive energy. And, of course, we want to be positive, but it's like I think they are saying in regards that yoga is something to be able to de-escalate stress and tension that women are going through. So that is something that I have not had gotten into, and so some theologists have put out a lot of information in regards to what yoga actually is, and so that's the reason why I have refrained from using that type of exercise as a source. But to others, to each is to their own. That's to their own religious beliefs. That is just something that I have not decided to do. So anyway, I just thought that perhaps some clients may have came to you, and there may be some listeners that are on the broadcast that relates to yoga, and to see if that was something that you could be able to share. So we have crossed that bridge. So for our last question for the podcast on today is just to tell the listeners about any publications that they can be able to read that you may have published in our blog post or something, or any of your social media platforms that you would like to share, and how they can be able to connect and contact with you to be able to follow you for more tools and resources in regards to your brand.
Awesome. Well, absolutely. First, you can contact me on www.Nikeya Young, that's Nikeya, and then Young, YOUNG.com, www.NikeyaYoung.com, and that'll tell you all the information about me in terms of a bit about my personal testimony, life coaching. It has a link to my blog. I have a whole movement that I started behind Virtue Chic. So virtuechic.net is a blog where I have some blog posts there people can read. I also have a YouTube channel where I have several episodes talking about issues pertaining to Christian millennial women. So please look up Virtue Chic on YouTube and subscribe to that. I also am on Instagram at Virtue Chic, and I have a Virtue Chic Facebook fan page as well. And then you can also find me. I have like 3 Instagram pages, so all of that is on my website. But Virtue Chic is one. At Nikeya Young is my main one, and then I have a Nikeya Fitness Diva where I talk about fitness inspirational stuff and post my classes for people in the Chicagoland area who want to come to my classes or people who just need some fitness inspiration. So that's where you can find me.
Okay, awesome. So, listeners, we have
I forgot one more thing.
Okay, go ahead.
I forgot to tell them about the book. You can get the book, Virtue Chic, Classy Takes Center Stage. It's on Amazon and Barnes & Noble and Kindle, actually. So you can get it on those 3 platforms or just message me on the website if you want an autographed copy, and I can send you one.
Awesome, awesome. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have had Ms. Nikeya Young is our guest on the show today, and we thank you so much for taking out the time and the opportunity to be with us on the show. And for our listeners, for all upcoming events, as I've stated before, we have the Women's Luncheon that's going to be on the 15th, and our speaker is Ms. Jill Coleman, and she's going to be there to empower you, and it's going to be a Christian luncheon as well. So we thank you so much for tuning in with us today. And so for all upcoming events, tools, and resources, and who's going to be next on the podcast, just go to our website at www.stpetersburgglobalministries.org. So thank you so much, Nikeya, for being our guest on today.
Thank you for having me. This was awesome. I enjoyed talking with you and your audience.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.